Hi everyone, we are from Avengers Learning Center. So with me we have
I'm Dr. Liu from MJIT UTM.
Fatin from School Education UTM.
So everyone, today we're going to share about the power of Avengers in chemical process design heuristic in NALI 2020. Regardless of the effort invested by the educational sector, industry still complain about the competency and the skills among engineering graduates. So the report released by the World Economic Forum on 2020 highlighted about the top 10 skills needed by employers to meet these required skills. Education need to think of something to actually reform our learning. Hence, it urged the instructor to actually design it can match with this required skills by the industry. In this specific topic, in this process design heuristic, this topic is very tough. Basically, it's really hard for them to actually at home and also understand because it revolves all about theory, and it's like a very thick book. And then how do you expect the student could understand and then apply theory? So instructor Dr. Liu designed the class using the theory of Gagné and also cooperative learning and also jigsaw technique.
Basically, the problem that he encountered is that the student need to learn a lot of information. So according to Robert Gagné, he is a cognitivist. He actually designed this 9-event instruction where it's based on how human process information. So if you have lots of information, how you want the student to be able to learn and process all the information? According to Gagné's 9-event instruction, there are 9 steps for to do it. Number 1 is to gain the attention, to get them to start to want to learn. Number 2 is to inform the learners of the objectives, what they're expected to learn. Number 3, you ask them to stimulate the recall, or you ask them to recall what they've learned before this. Number 4, you present the stimulation, what they need to learn. Number 5, provide them with the learning guide. Number 6, eliciting in performance. Number 7, provide information. Number 8, assess performance. And number 9, enhance retention and transfer. If you're using these 9 steps, you can ensure that they can learn the information as they go along. Now, for them to learn a lot of information in a short period of time, you need them to work together as a team. So for this, we injected cooperative learning so that they can work together as a team in 4 or 5 students in one team, so they can learn information together and separately. I mean, they take the topic separately, but at the end, they all learn the same topics together. So if you do cooperative learning, you have to follow the 5 principles. It's not simply just put them into a group and they can just learn. So under cooperative learning, the 5 principles are positive independence. So students have to depend among the team members. 4 or 5, they have to learn to depend on their friends. Individual accountability, everyone have their own role. If one person not doing what they need to do, and the whole team will not learn everything. Group processing, everyone must reflect on the learning process. It's not just one person, but everyone have to reflect who going to do what, how we're going to do it together. Number 4, interpersonal and social skills. They have to trust each other. They have to resolve any conflicts if there are conflicts. So this is try to develop the interpersonal skill as a team. And number 5, promotive interaction. Students will assist each other because at the end they have to come up with a design. So this is for them to solve problem together. So if you think about it, you use again 9 steps, and you use the cooperative learning principle for them to learn a lot of topics in one go. And in this, for us to get them work on this project, we use jigsaw technique, because jigsaw technique can help them to go through step number 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so these 4, 5, 6, and 7 steps in Gagné can be covered just using jigsaw. Later on, Dr. Lee will explain how he did the jigsaw, the home team and expert team. So students will get the stimulation, get the guidance, and they can go through. You ask them to elicit the performance, and then to get them to assess their learning. So if you go through these 4 steps of Gagné, it's all included in jigsaw. At the end, he gives them quiz to assess them, and finally for them to retain their understanding, they are given the design capstone project to complete it. So if you look at this whole step using the Avengers Learning Center, you actually can cover the whole difficult topic of chemical process design heuristics.
Okay, the class is actually divided into 2, where the first class is actually preparing the presentation mahjong paper for the other students to present. Okay, so in the first class, what we do is actually First, we ask the students to shout out their problem in their ongoing capstone design project, where the instructor is going to summarize their problem and also guide them towards the needs of design heuristics. So this is where we inform the objectives to the students, the learning objectives to the students, where they will start to have the intention, they will start to have the motivation to learn that topic. And then we tell them what should they do in this Avengers activity, where we are giving them the material, the reading material, which is 30-page thick, where it is divided into groups. So each expert groups are actually only required to read about 2 to 3 page, where it is covering 3 to 4 heuristics out of 52 heuristics. So after that, they are divided into their Hero Training Center. In the Hero Training Center, they are actually experts from different teams, different design teams. So in the design teams, first, they are required to do reading by their own and prepare some simple notes. And then they will discuss in their group, in which they are also required to study their seniors' design or drawing through looking at each of the heuristics. What is their senior doing good and doing not so good, so that they can improve, in which this learning will promote how they are evaluating their seniors' design and improve in their own design and avoid the same problem again. It's actually, first, we are giving all the expert teams to all the Hero Training Center to have 15 minutes of revision of what they have actually drawn on the mahjong paper, on the notes they have made in the previous class. And then this will enhance their individual accountability actually, where they are preparing themselves for presenting to their own home teammates. Where next, we will have the Avengers Assemble, where all the heroes they are back to their home team, which is their Avengers team, where they have all the Avengers experts from different topics in the heuristics, where each of them are presenting on their own material to their teammates. This is important, where they will start to realize that what am I understand and what am I not understand? What can I deliver to my friends and what I cannot deliver to my friends? Where this is where they start to evaluate themselves. And at the same time, the instructor, me, myself, are there to help each of this class, each of the group, each of the presentation, where I will pop up with some questions to guide them to the depth that we need on the student learning. So they will be start to discussing where the rest of the students are actually never studying on that topic. So through that question, start to stimulate their thinking on the topic, where it will be helpful for the students in their own learning. Then we go to the Hero Clinic. In the Hero Clinic, because the previous example session, they will have some time limit for each of the posters. So here we start to clean up whatever that they still do not understand, whatever that they have not completed in the example training, where they start to have revision, they start to have clarify some thinking through seeking help from other friends in the classroom, where they are free to seek any expert from the classroom. And also the instructor, me, myself, also helping them to guide further, to make them understand the topic properly. And lastly, we will have all the Avengers to be back to the classroom, and we have the Avengers Endgame, which is a quiz on Kahoot. The Kahoot quiz is actually covering all the important topics in the heuristic, where we try to emphasize which are very important one and which is not so important one, which is very useful one. And with this endgame, we are actually also taking the opportunity to understand the level of understanding of the student and explain further to the student on what they are doing right and what they are understanding wrong. Lastly, they will be going back to their own team for discussing with their own team for the design project, which practice the heuristic that they learn from the classroom to do it And this
basically, after undergo the class, the student were asked to do the reflection on the whole learning process. Three themes that are strongly emphasized in this reflection, which is self-realization. In these, the student actually realize a lot of things, especially they believe that they need to really understand the concept of chemical process design heuristic, because they believe that if they do not understand, they will become a domino effect, and they will fail to deliver whatever explanation on the concept of heuristic. And then it gives them a right pressure, because from the exercise come clear on what are their direction, and they learn from the mistake from their seniors. From the analysis also, we could see that they realize that they need to seek expert. They believe that some of the terminology they couldn't understand, and then they believe that they need a higher level of knowledge, and then it requires them to meet the experts. They also believe that they have to self-improve themselves throughout the process, in which they said that they understand the topic, but they can't explain it well to their friends, so they have to be prepared and also be improve in their understanding so that they can do it well. So they believe that they will improve themselves throughout the process. The learning process also, from the student reflection, it shows that the students actually believe that through the activities it's really time effective, because they really could understand. Most of the students actually believe that throughout the process they can understand it easily. Can you imagine, like in the 30 pages textbook, a very thick textbook about a very tough topic, but they could understand it through the process design by the Gagné instructional design, as well as the jigsaw and cooperative learning. So they said that it is a very whole new experience for them, and then these activities actually enable them to actually learn in shorter time compared to normal lectures. So this is basically what the students said throughout the reflection. And then the student also shows a very good effort, in which they said that they tried to understand very well what are the heuristics presented by the other groups. And also they believe that they need to understand individually, and also they have to have the sense of responsibility to actually share with their friends. So this is actually give them a very good soft skills in terms of responsibility, adaptability, team working, and also presentation skills. Okay,
I think it's quite clear that this Avengers Learning Center that design using the principle of corporate learning, and also the 9 events of Gagné instruction design, basically is a jigsaw technique that we package it under the Avengers Learning Center. So you can see from Dr. Nina's presentation that students get the soft skills and get the learning, the knowledge, and so on. I think these are something that we all know already from using corporate learning, from using good cognitive theory, cognitive learning theories. But one thing that is very outstanding from this learning process is that students start to realize that they have the ability, they become a hero in themselves, that they can learn new knowledge by themselves. Which this self-realization is something that very precious for our students who will become future engineers, because at the beginning Nina talked about the problems posed by the industry, that our students they need to be able to upgrade themselves, they need to be able to solve problems themselves. But if they do not have the ability, the skills to learn by themselves, then it would be very difficult for them to be competitive in the field industry. So I think throughout this whole process, the student gain the self-realization of their independent learning skills. I think this is the most precious things beside the learning of the knowledge, and also the soft skills they learn from team working, problem solving, and so on. So I think I would like to applaud Dr. Liu for his effort in doing this, and Dr. Nina for analyzing the data and come up with all the results that we get from what we hear today. Thank you very much.